A hit with viewers and critics alike, this heartwarming boy meets boy teen drama is like a hug in TV form, according to The Guardian. That is the description that you see on Netflix after typing in Heartstopper. And I have to say, I was not moved. To be honest, the first thing I thought about was, I hope this isn't a stereotypical gay story with stereotypical gay characters doing stereotypical gay things. If it is, I'm turning it off, and I'm gonna really have to have a talk with my blush bunnies, because what do y'all got me watching? We've seen this a million times, and I'm tired of the same old. I mean, if we're gonna do it, let's do it. I don't want to see the same flamboyant guy, loud, obnoxious. Like, give me something new. So, did this show disappoint me? I'm about to tell y'all. These blush bunnies present Heartstopper. So, right off the back, they start talking, and I'm like, oh, they're British. Okay, then, because y'all know I like me a little British accent. So, we're starting off on the right foot. But, anyways, we meet Charlie. So, Charlie got a man named Ben who's playing games, clearly not out by the way that he's acting, the secret meetings, the energy towards our dear Charlie, very much secret lovers. But then we meet this guy named Nick, and Nick and Charlie have this series of highs between them, clearly love at first sight. You know, very Fitz and Olivia. Wait, do y'all believe in love at first sight? In the movies and in the shows, it'd be kind of like hit or miss as far as if it's believable. I feel like in real life, most people have lust at first sight. You like what you see, but that's really the basis of the so-called love. That's why I never really believed in it, but reevaluating it, I believe real love at first sight is when there's a soul connection, that unexplainable euphoric feeling within that doesn't compare to a feeling you've ever encountered with anyone else. Like, that's the love at first sight. Not, oh, he's cute, or she's attractive, or you know, that's not it. This is going left. I was not supposed to be on a tangent. Where are my notes? Okay, let me get back to the story. So, then this two-time hussy was lip to lip with some chick, and Charlie sent him a message like, you got me fucked up. Well, he didn't say that exactly, but he wanted to. Instead, he simply said he didn't want to meet up anymore. I was literally sitting there shaking my head in agreement, like, yeah. So then we meet his friends. I think it's interesting that his friends aren't gay. This is a good thing, because it would have been so cliche if it was a group of gay guys. Gays and straights coexist in the real world every day. In college, I actually had a gay friend who so happened to be loud and flamboyant. And he had a straight male friend, best friend actually, who would come to campus to visit him. He actually liked me, which is weird because I'd never seen that dynamic before. So I didn't know how to process what I was seeing, you know. Long story short, I like this because it happens in real life, you know. Anyways, Charlie starts having all these fantasy daydreams and decides to join rugby to be closer to his boo. And his friends are like, okay, it's just a crush, get over it. In the midst of all of this, Ben wanted to do one more secret meeting, basically telling him to just deal with whatever I give you, take what you can get. Nobody else wants you, so you are lucky to have me. Nick comes in to save the day. Like, don't be talking to him like that. Get up off of him. Leave him alone. You know, he don't want you. Let him be. So my question at this point is, does he know who he is? Does Nick know who he is and what he likes? Or is he gonna flip the script and pull a Ben and like try to be into Charlie behind closed doors, but you know, in front of everybody else, it's like, I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? I'm wondering how this is going to go. So then Nick opens the door for dialogue, wants to know the details of Ben and Charlie. Half is genuine concern and half is for his own good, though he's not ready to admit it. So Charlie thanks his supportive straight friend, but he's like, listen, I want you to like me because I like you. So you need to be liking me right now. We see more of Elle, who is a transgender young lady, finally made some friends at her new school. Now, I just gave props to this show for giving Charlie a non-cliche friend group, but then they turn around and give Elle lesbian friends. The only save here that I initially didn't take into consideration is that the transgender community often feels like they're the black sheep of the LGBTQ plus. So that unity actually works here, even though I would like to have seen her with at least one straight female friend. But back to Charlie. He does the complete opposite of what his teacher tells him, which is if you like a straight guy, leave him alone and suffer in silence. Instead, he spends more time with Nick alone in close quarters. Great idea. Like, how does that even work? Liking someone who, as far as you know, there's no way they will ever feel the same. This actually reminds me, I had a friend in high school. She came out to me, and we hadn't known each other since elementary, but she came out to me, called me one day and was like, I need to tell you something, and I don't know how you're gonna react, but I just need to tell you. And I'm just like, girl, what is it? What's going on? And she was like, I'm bisexual. And I was like, oh, okay. Because for one, I was not surprised, even though she never expressed liking females, or as far as I knew, she had crushes on guys, but she never expressed liking girls or anything. But it was not a shock to me. I don't know why I wasn't surprised. And then it wasn't really that big of a deal. It's like, okay, well, that's cool. But then I noticed not too long after she told me, we did not hang out as much. I would try to hang out with her. I would call her. She wasn't answering my phone calls as much. Yeah, she started to wane her way just to kind of distance herself from me a little bit. And I didn't know what that was at first. Years later, I was like, well, maybe she liked me, and maybe that was also a part of her way of saying, opening the door, But that's another, I keep having stories with this. This is funny. Okay, back to the script. Where's my notes at? Hold on. Because I only typed them this time. I didn't write them in my journal. Let's see, where am I at? Charlie and his teacher. Oh, so Nick and his mom. I like that his mom is very in tune with him. Very in tune with her child. It's not like, oh, I don't know where this is coming from, or, what's going on now? She's like, oh, you're more yourself with Charlie. You're with your other friends. This is not the energy you're giving. You're giving Nick when you're with Charlie. So naturally, Nick wants to spend more time, but then he starts to pull a Ben when his friends are getting a little more nosy. So now all of a sudden he likes Tara Jones, even though Tara got a whole girlfriend, fighting off the urges to hold his hand and everything, calling him cuddly. Sir, ain't no straight guy gonna refer to another man as, oh, you look cuddly. Just give in. Just listen to your true self. So Nick is on the prowl to find out if he's gay. So Google is your best friend. Took a quiz and everything. Turns out he's 62% gay. Now this made me laugh because it's where you're not fully gay, but you're not half either. It's almost, It's what? I don't know, I guess that's a play on sexuality being a spectrum and stuff like that, but it's 62%. I don't know why that's so funny. Anyways, so Nick invites him to Harry's party, which happens to be movie night for the Motley Crew. Now, I can't tell if Tao is just a hater and that's why he's making a big deal about him not coming out, but I also can't tell if he likes him. Like him. But he low-key has a thing for Elle too, so there's that. As Elle and Tao are having their movie night, something came to me. Well, Two things. I like that though his feelings weren't fully recognized, Nick is really a true friend. Like, he stood up for Charlie regardless. He did it with Ben, and now he's doing it with Harry. Like, you're not about to bully him around me. And that shows good character. Second thing that came to me, and I want y'all to walk with me on this one, okay? Do not comment until you fully hear me out. Elle looks like a female rapper that's oddly popular right now. Like, if you cleaned this rapper up and got rid of the oddly placed tattoos, piercings, and red hair, they could be sisters. I'm just saying. Y'all, you see it. Y'all see it. Okay, so we're at the party. And Charlie lets Nick know, like, yeah, my old thing just tried to push up on me, but I'm done with that. It's all about you, boo. And Nick like, oh, you ain't said nothing but a word. Let's go upstairs. Okay, well, that's not exactly what they said, but they wanted to. This leads to a kiss. The kiss. Let me tell you what I like about this scene. Though Charlie is in a state of shock, he's leading this conversation, and he has this gentleness and sort of a protection for Nick in this moment. Asking the right questions and making sure he was okay emotionally, providing a safe space. Like, that was very sweet, authentic, innocent. Like, I just loved it. It was a very tender moment. But the moment was interrupted by his butthole teammates. So Nick jumps up and Charlie automatically takes it as a rejection. Like, oh, he's ashamed, because of his experience that he had with Ben, which is understandable. Woke up, his phone was dry and everything, so he was feeling away. But then Nick pulled up on him in the rain, and I'm like, oh, he is in love. This is not a crush. This is more than a crush. Hey lover, hey love. This is more than a crush. No, seriously, that's love. Like, you in the rain for me? I just knew he was about to break out singing. If I had one wish, we would be best friends. Love will never end. It was just begin. So they're in Charlie's room and he's all apologizing for the kiss. Nick kisses him and cries about being confused, needing time to sort things out. So they decide to keep it on the low. And I'm just thinking, like, how is this secret about to go? Secret lunch dates, secret little smiles here and there. It's like, this is not going to go well. So Tao is jealous of the potential romance, but apparently the only lesbian couple in the whole vicinity are the only two people who sense something is going on. Meanwhile, this girl asks Nick out, and he accepts. And I'm just like, see, this is what I was worried about, because this is what happens when you want to keep things on the low. You make room for things like this to come into the fold. Now, I get he not ready to come out yet, but this is a mess. So Nick is trying to break it off with old girl. So I'm just take it as an impulse date, because I really thought he was about to play Charlie. Nick has a bowling party and Tao is getting on my last nerve. Like, I get that he's protective and he sees, some shadiness with Nick and this girl, but this overtly rude attitude is draining. Like, bro, get over it. Then Nick just kind of pissed me off because Charlie told Tao during his rant that Nick was just his friend, and Nick had the nerve to be hurt about it. Like, it's your fault that y'all are friends. And then when Charlie brought up that they weren't even officially dating, instead of him making it official, he just calls off the date with Imagination or whatever her name, Imogen? Why do I have Imagination written in it? I got Imagination and then I got Imogen. How do you I'm not about to sit here and try to pronounce her name. Anyways, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, I get not being ready. Trust me. If I say I'm not ready, do not rush me, because now I'm done. I changed my mind and I don't want to do it no more. But I don't think it's right to feel away if the person is just calling it what it is. Like, we're not together, What you want him to do? Make me your boyfriend or go on somewhere with that. And then they start kissing in public. I said, oh, not at the party. Okay, yeah. So Elle and Tao finally feel their spark, and Nick breaks it off with the girl. But I'm not sure if he's like ready for that. Like, I don't know what his emotions are in this moment. Is he regretting it? Is he scared that he's gonna get found out? Like, what's the take? Well, I guess this all boils down to the 62% because it opens the door for the visual representation of the B and the LGBTQ. His mom is poking fun at him for having a crush on Keira Knightley from the Pirates of the Caribbean. Side note, does anybody pronounce it as Pirates of the Caribbean? Or are we all on one accord? Because I don't think I've heard anybody say Pirates of the Caribbean. Not in real life. I'm trying to think back to the trailers. Like, did they say Caribbean or Caribbean? I don't know, but I ain't heard nobody say Caribbean. Anyways, so she's poking fun at him, and he's watching the scene completely bewildered because he's looking at her and looking at Orlando. Heart just fluttering. So naturally, he goes to research it because he's like, okay, what's going on right now? But even more surprising is him telling Tara that he's dating Charlie. Like, can you really trust her with this information? You don't know her like that. But more importantly, we find out that Charlie doesn't have a problem with Nick being bi. So now they're making public appearances. They go out on a date to a scary movie where Nick's friends are as well. Though he's scared, Nick still shows affection, which I thought was sweet. Then they start back with the bullying, asking Charlie what kind of guys do he like. What about Harry Styles? He's sort of sexy. And then, of course, I'm sitting here with a big old smile on my face because they mention Harry Styles and this boy's getting bullied. So it's like, oh goodness, that's terrible. But then they ask him about Nick and it gets real awkward. And honestly, I thought Nick was going to come out in this moment, like have that final, okay, stop talking about him because you're talking about me too, you know? But he didn't do that. Then out of nowhere, here comes Ben from the deepest crevice of the earth to spew his hate. And it's like, it's one thing to be a hater, but now you're projecting big time. Like, oh, I saw you holding hands. And it's like, well, yeah, because you were too scared to hold his hand, you know? Okay, side note, real quick. Why does the name Harry only sound good with a British accent? Like the air in the beginning, Harry. Americans pronounce it way too hard. It's like Harry. Like, girl, do not call my name. I'm sorry, I had to get that out. But I think it's interesting that in the midst of all of this that's going on, Tao is the only person that's oblivious to the relationship. Like, everybody else has, like, you know, little inklings here and there. And even though Tao knew some stuff, he just completely out of the loop. The one that's always all up in, and he don't know it. So of course, when he finds out, he's pissed about it. And I'm like, boo effing who? The only thing I do agree with him on is that his friend deserves to be loved out loud. Like, Charlie deserves not to be a secret lover. Everybody needs to know that my boy is taken, and if not, it's gonna be a problem. But everything else, I really don't like Tao. Now, we're at the point where Charlie is feeling bad. He felt unwanted from Ben the whole time they were so-called dating. And now he feels bad for Nick and the experience he has, you know, being his so-called friend. And I just want Charlie to fight Ben so bad. Like, beat him down. He did finally boss up to him and let him know, like, little bit, you can't F at me if you wanted to. But no, Ben told him that he hated himself, and that was a personal problem. In the midst of that, Tao and Charlie finally make up, only because Charlie was the bigger person. And Nick stops him in the middle of the game, goes to Charlie, takes him, and professes his love. He tells him he wants to come out and that he doesn't want this big announcement. He just wants it to be, you know. And I was like, okay. So Charlie's all happy for him, and he asks if they're officially boyfriends. And Nick is like, well, duh. And again, this is another story. Like, I have so many stories. But I remember my boyfriend from high school. He did that to me. Because I told him, like, everybody is saying, like, we go together. And he's like, well, how come everybody can see we together but you? And I'm like, how am I the last person to know? Like, he never asked me to be his girlfriend. So technically, we were never together. All those years, we were never together because he never asked me to be his girlfriend. So I'm with Charlie on this one, like, say the word or leave it on the playground. And then, of course, at the end, he comes out to his mom, which was a good little tie-in because, you know, they're pretty close, and she played a big role in him coming into his own. So I thought that was dope. That's the end of this series. I like this show. I would definitely recommend it if you guys haven't watched it. If you have watched it, should I continue season 2? I know season 3 is supposed to come out in like October or November of 2024, I think. I don't know when this video is going to post, so I'm saying the actual 2024, because this may be coming out in 2025 the way I be going. But no, this year, meaning 2024, I am going to put out more content. I only put out 3 videos last year, which is crazy. You could always leave, you know, recommendations in the comments, or on Instagram, or, you know, email me, whatever. I think that's it right now. I'm not gonna drag this. So with all of that being said, if you haven't done so already, please be sure to click like and hop over to that subscribe button and hit the bell. Otherwise, YouTube would never show you my videos. As always, I'm all ears. Until next time, bye.
Dan it, Dan it, Dan it, Dan it, Dan it, Dan it, Dan it.
I like that. It's gonna be my new theme song.
Dan it, Batman.